Gyaku Shigarami, also known as plata in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The way we get into this technique, the dojo, I'm facing someone, they attack me with an overhead strike. I'm going to block that strike with an X block. I'm making an X with my arms to block that strike. My outside arm is in front of my inside arm. When I say outside and inside, these are their arms coming at me and they're attacking on this side. My outside arm is the one to the outside of the arm. My inside one is the one in front of their body. A block, they're coming from this side, I'm blocking. My outside arm is in front, my inside arm is behind. I block. The arm behind slides down the arm, grabs the wrist. The other arm rotates around behind the arm without losing contact to the elbow. I'm locking the arm. I make a circular motion with what would be the inside leg all the way around. Take them down to the ground. Using counter pressure, pulling the wrist back, pushing the elbow forward, take them down to the ground. Again, they're attacking from this side. This arm is going to be the outside. This arm is going to be the inside. Outside's in front, inside's behind. X block. Inside hand slides down the wrist, down the arm to grab the wrist. Other one rotates around behind the elbow. Pulling on the wrist as I push on the elbow to lock the arm. The outside leg is going to make a semicircle as I take them down to the ground. Once they're on the ground, they go down to the ground face down. Still got control of the wrist and behind the elbow. Take them all the way down to the ground. Now the leg on the inside, closest to the body, steps over that shoulder. I push the arm into my hip. Think of putting their hand in my pocket, bending the arm behind their back, and having a seat. A little bit like pigeon position, bending my leg in front and behind to pin that arm. People are really flexible. I'm going to go under the other armpit from behind. Bring my hands together and hug. That's usually enough to finish it up. To exit, I will lock the wrist, stand up, and exit. Again from the other side. Got the wrist and elbow. I'm taking them all the way down to the ground. My inside leg closest to the body steps over the shoulder. I push their arm across my hip, trying to put their hand in my pocket. And I have a seat. Bending my leg, a lot like pigeon position in yoga. That's enough usually to finish the technique. If they're really flexible, I'm going to go under the far side armpit, bring my hands together, and hug. This is one of my favorite submissions, one that I go to often. I've never gotten into it from this position. It's a good way to train it for kata. The way I find myself ending up in this position is usually from guard. However you end up in guard position, you know, when you're wrestling around, you commonly end up there. I'm on my back, the other person's facing me, in my guard with my legs closed. I need to bring them in so that I can hug their head. If they know what they're doing, they're usually going to be postured up, their hands or elbows here, keeping me from pulling them down. Don't reach up and try to grab and pull them down. I'm going to break their frame. I'm pulling their hand or elbow off my hip or pushing it to the center line to break the frame down. I'm going to use my legs the way we do at the beginning of class when we're warming up. Push those legs out and make a circular motion, pulling in, circle and in. I'm not just pulling them towards me. I get some leverage going up the back, tilting them forward, pulling them in, and then grabbing the back of the head. Have them at closed guard. I now have my arms wrapped around the back of their head. I can open up my guard because I'm now holding them to my body with my hands, keeping them from posturing up, at least momentarily. While I'm doing this, I'm going to let go of one arm and go under their shoulder to either side. Open up, go under the shoulder, go under my own knee, and then grab my hands together again. I'm now in what's classically called rubber guard. They're in a closed guard, but instead of me closing my legs around them, I'm using my arm and my legs, my arms and leg to lock them in place. From here, I'm setting up Gyaku Shigarami, or omoplata. Pull them in, lock down, I go under the shoulder, under my own knee, lock my hands together. From here, I keep my hands locked, I slide my elbow over their head from the far side to the near side closest to me. All the way over, slide, and then I push their head away with the elbow. My foot will either be on the hip or on the ground. I'll push, shift my angle so that my leg is closer to a parallel position across the back of the shoulders. Over the top and push. Once I'm on the near side, I can let go, put my hand on their head, I push their head away from me and drop my foot to the near side of the shoulder, and I sit up. Now I'm in the same position that I was before. Again, if you want to reinforce, go under the far side, hands together, and hug. Show it one more time from the other side. They're in my guard, close guard, break down their posture, whatever their frame is, legs pulling them in, give them a big hug. Once I have my hands locked behind their head, I can open my guard. I let go with one hand, go under the near side shoulder, under my own knee, lock my hands together. Far side elbow slides over the back of the head without letting go of my grip, and then I push the head away with my elbow. My other foot is pushing off their hip or the ground, shift my angle. I let go of my hands, put my hand on the head to push it away as I further rotate, bringing that leg over the back of the shoulder, and I sit up. Tighter lock, I go in underneath the far shoulder, lock my hands together, and hug. If you want something to help you practice this technique, I'm using the gi mobility tool for the neck, foam roller, and to create the shoulders, I'm using the stick from a plunger. It's about half the size of a mop or a broomstick, which would be too long to really do this technique, although you could probably do it with that. It's a little hard to roll them over when the stick's that long. This is nice because it's about the width of someone's shoulders, and you can feel your leg going over the top and locking. Good luck practicing Gyaku Shigarami.